But I want to speak for just a minute about what's happening in the world. I'm sure we're going to get some questions about this. But it's another place where you need to know about the choices that you have. Because there are differences, there are huge differences between the Democrats and Republicans on the war, on Iran, no doubt about that. But there are also differences and choices between the Democrats, and you just need to be aware of what they are. And let me say as a preface to this, I should have said this at the beginning, we have very good candidates running for president on the Democratic side. These are good people. And the bottom line is you have good choices. But there are differences between us. And you need to know what those differences are. Let me talk about Iran for just a second. Because there was I know all of you have listened, especially in the aftermath of this mess in Iraq, have listened to George Bush rattling his saber about Iran. You know, Bush and Cheney, talking more and more. That started with the axis of evil, remember? But on and on, they continue to rattle the saber about Iran. Well, there was an important vote that took place on the floor of the United States Senate a couple of weeks ago. And that vote was an effort to declare the Iranian Revolutionary Guard a terrorist organization. This is a military group, a state militia military group inside Iran. And so you can just imagine who wants the Iranian Revolutionary Guard declared a terrorist organization. George Bush wants them declared it, and Dick Cheney want them declared a terrorist organization. Because, from my perspective, this is the first step of giving Bush the authority to move militarily on Iran. And what I've learned the hard way is you cannot give Bush an inch. If you give him an inch, he will take a mile. And we have to stand strong against this president, particularly when he's using the same kind of language in talking about Iran that we heard him using in talking about Saddam Hussein and Iraq. We have to stand strong and firm. So this vote took place on the floor of the Senate. I want to applaud two presidential candidates. Senator Dodd, Senator Biden voted no, which I believe is the right position. They stood up against what Bush wanted to do. I think Senator Obama was not there when the vote took place. Senator Clinton voted yes. And I just can't tell you how strongly I disagree with this. I mean, we cannot allow this president even to make the first step in taking military action on Iran. And this is a difference. There was some of you may have seen this already. There was a story in today's New York Times about this issue and about her vote on this issue. And some of her advisors said that she voted yes because she was moving from primary mode to general election mode. Well, I got to say, first of all, I may be wrong, and you'll have to tell me. Have we already decided who's going to win the New Hampshire primary? Well, that's the first question I want to make. Second, instead of primary mode versus general election mode, instead of saying one thing in the primary and something different for the general election, how about if we do tell the truth mode all the time? How about if we say exactly what we believe and stand by that position? That's what we need in our presidential candidates, and more importantly, it's what we need in the President of the United States. You know, I don't know about you, but I really believe this. I believe it so strongly. You know, there are important policy differences, but if I were voting in the presidential election and I wasn't running for president, what I would be looking for are a very simple group of things. I'd be looking for somebody I could trust, somebody who was honest and sincere, because we need it desperately in the next president. Because what's happened at this point in our country's history is for the last 7 years, your trust, America's trust in its president, has been destroyed. I mean, completely destroyed. And the trust between the President of the United States and the rest of the world has been destroyed. We have to have a president that we can trust. You have to know that your president's being honest with you and telling you the truth, even when it's something you don't want to hear, even if it's something you disagree with. You need a president who's telling you the truth. For me, it is the single most important test for any presidential candidate.